Hi, and welcome to Tapped into Hudson. I'm Steve Lenox, and I'm the publisher of Tap into Bayonne, Tap into Jersey City, and Tap into Hoboken. We've had a busy week since we joined you last week on the air. We were in Jersey City, we were in Hoboken, we were in Bayonne. We're getting into Earth Month now, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But again, I want to review a little bit of the news. Jersey City Saturday, Stop the Hate rally. You know, too many members, too many of our friends in the Asian community have been hurt. We're trying to put a stop to that. We were very happy to cover that event at City Hall. We were at Hoboken where we covered a great store opening, a Wicked Sense, great candle store. Get to Hoboken and check that out. And of course, Bayonne continues to have top-of-the-line recreation events for kids and families, really an amazing place. Mayor Jimmy Davis is doing an amazing job with his recreation director, and we're so proud to keep covering them. But when we come back in a couple of minutes, we're going to welcome two guests from the Hudson County Improvement Authority, a very key agency in Hudson County, but something a lot of us really don't know what it does. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Norman Guerra, who's the Executive Director of the HCIA, and Amanda Nesheiwat, who's the Deputy Director for Sustainability and Community Outreach. So stick around and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hi, and welcome back to Tapped into Hudson. I'm Steve Lenox, and I'm the publisher of Tap into Bayonne, Tap into Jersey City, and Tap into Hoboken. We have two great guests with us on the show today. We're going to launch right into conversation with Norman Guerra and Amanda Nesheiwat from the Hudson County Improvement Authority. Norman, I want to go to you first. You've been the executive director there for several years.
Yeah, for 16 years.
16
Time
years.
flies.
Why don't you tell
Time
our
flies.
viewers and our readers a little bit about what the HCIA does?
Yeah, let me just give you a quick overview. The Improvement Authority's initial task was to develop, implement, and manage the county's solid waste management plan. In addition to that, it was also combined with recycling. As time went on, the authority, they also had a finance program. The finance program was enhanced. We assisted many municipalities with different type of funding. We bought fire engines for Jersey City. Years ago, we bought police cars for Hoboken. You know, they would pay the debt on it, and we'd turn them back over to them. But and then, as time went on, we developed a planning and energy division. And we've done some solar projects. We did 28 installations, rooftop installations for a number of municipalities in Hudson County. And in addition to that, we've done a number of projects. We built the first public golf course in Hudson County. We did work out in Harrison. We financed the land for the Red Bull Stadium. We built a 1,400 car parking deck in Harrison. And then as time went on, we built the high-tech high school in Secaucus. And you know, we have some future projects coming down the pike, but right now, as you know, and you mentioned this early on in your program, we've typically for Earth Day, we've always sponsored a Earth Day fair in Liberty State Park. However, due to COVID last year, needless to say, it was canceled, and now we are preparing for two what we refer to as mini fairs. One in Braddock Park in North Bergen, at the corner of 91st and Bergen Line Avenue, and the other in Lincoln Park, just adjacent to the fountain. The North Bergen event will be held on April 17th, this coming Saturday, and the North Bergen event will be held on the Jersey City, Lincoln Park event will be held on the 24th of this month.
And we'll, of course, put both of those events up on the website, and they'll come up on the screen. Amanda, let's talk about those events a little bit. Like Norman said, we've had to transition a little bit. We can't get big groups together still. but you are going to have some crowd together in both of these locations. But you're also doing a poetry contest. You're trying to get students involved in a new way. Why don't you talk about that a bit?
Well, HCIA has always made a really big deal out of Earth Day. It's
Yep.
central to the mission, I think, of the HCIA. And one thing that I really love is that for many years, they really focused on getting youth involved. So this year, we're engaging youth by hosting a poetry contest. There'll be 4 categories where you can win first, second, or third place. It depends on your age. And you'll get prizes and maybe even get invited to our Jersey City Earth Day event on the 24th to accept an award.
That's great. And this grew out of an art contest that you've done in past years.
Yeah.
And of course, you decided this year to go with poetry because it's National Poetry Month.
Right,
as we
it's
chatted
National
about.
Poetry Month, and also it's every year we have a theme, and this year's theme is actually Earth Day, bringing Hudson County together. So the poem is really supposed to, I'm hoping that the youth are inspired by that
And how are you
theme.
reaching out to the youth? Because you're not in their classrooms for the most part. Some are learning through
Yeah.
a hybrid model. But how are you reaching out to students?
We're using as much of our social media platform as we can, and we also have, through the many years of actually the HCA doing work with all of our school districts, we have a list of teachers and sort of school champions that we can reach out to let them know that we have a poetry contest. And I think that teachers are really enthusiastic about getting their youth to do things at home, and so a lot of students so far have participated.
Norman, this is amazing. I mean, we go from talking about Red Bulls Arena and buying police cars to doing poetry contests. I mean, it really shows the full range of what the HCIA does.
And it all started with talking trash, because that was our primary charge with the authority. And like Amanda said, this event will not only bring the whole idea is to bring the community together, not only with the county. We have another number of county organizations participating in this, promoting their services, health department, Hudson Regional Health Department, local municipal health departments, cultural affairs. There's a whole host. And what it does is it actually brings the community together with the organizations, which I think at a time like this is necessary.
And to close the circle on a time like this, you mentioned before the HCIA is also part of the Hudson County Task Force for Vaccinations.
For the vaccinations, we've had a number of our employees, including Amanda, who also works there a couple days a week, and a number of our employees assisting in that whole operation. It's a fantastic operation that was set aside. County Executive did a great job. Hudson Regional is fabulous. County Assistant Business Administrator Dave Drumler is fabulous with it, and it's just it's really working out well.
David and Carrie came on the show a few weeks ago, and we were very
terrific.
early in the vaccination process. No side effects they told me about. Now, of course, we learned today we're pulling back on the J&J because of issues. You know, 6 issues out of millions that have been delivered, but still Executive DeGee said, you know, we're going to take a step back here. We're going to continue providing vaccinations, but we're going to switch to the Moderna and Pfizer only. How has the HCIA operated during this pandemic, though? It must have been difficult for everybody spread
Well, we
out.
managed. We had alternating shifts and what have you. And, with today's technologies between iPads and, Zoom meetings, I mean, that's what we have now. Even our board meetings, everything is Zoom meetings. And it's working out really well. I think it's setting the tone going forward, and it's worked well.
We talk a lot about whether or not people are going to be back in an office or if remote work is going to stay. What's your take on that?
Well, my take on it, there is a need for some people in the office, may not need everybody in the office. And with the authority, we also have a field operation. We have enforcement officers to manage the environmental compliance program. And, they're out there, a few people in the office, and for us, it's sort of working well.
Perfect. Norman, Amanda, we're going to take a break. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
When we come back, I want to touch on some of the future projects the HCIA is looking at.
Be happy to do
Thank
so.
you so much, and please stick around. Hi, and welcome back. We talked a little bit with Norman before about some of the projects the HCI has taken on over the years. Red Bulls Arena, purchasing police cars you mentioned for Hoboken, work you've done in the parks. But right now, you've got a whole litany of projects you're working on. The Science High School in Jersey City, the new courthouse in Jersey City, casino on the park, in the park. I mean,
we started, actually, the new Frank Guarini Justice Complex has started. They've been excavating a lot of soil and rock from the site right now, and that's moving along. Target date for completion is about 4 years from now. Could be sooner. That's a very big project for Hudson County. In addition to that, everyone remembers the old casino in the park. Just as COVID was starting, we were completing the demolition of it. So that sort of set the whole time frame back. But we're very close to obtaining permits to start to build the new, right now I'm calling it Casino in the Park, but it will be a different name, and we're unsure of the name, and I don't want to give it away yet. But that is happening.
I hope.
That's going to be an exciting project for the community there in the park. And we are working with Jersey City, the county, the Hudson County Schools of Technology on what's known as SciTech City. And our role there would be to go through a process, again, a design-build process to build another high school there at that location. I think that's a great location. I think it's a fabulous idea that the mayor of Jersey City and county executive all got together, and that's going to be an exciting project.
It really
for us.
shows some amazing partnerships between the HCIA,
Yes.
County Executive G, Mayor Fulop, of course,
Yes.
the biggest proponent. So this, Norman, these projects that you're working on, whether we talk about the courthouse or the school or even casino in the park, these aren't small projects. I mean, these are huge transformative projects. I think it was County Executive G said to Al Sullivan, who's going to be on later, that it's not just about the courthouse. It's about the buzz that it's going to create around that area.
The whole neighborhood, that whole Newark Avenue is going to change. There's the Frank Guarini Justice Complex going up. Right across the street, I believe, is a 26-story tower with some retail on the bottom. Down the corner is another new development site going up. And eventually, the old courthouse will come down, and that whole area is going to be a park-like setting. So it's going to change the whole makeup of that area. And look what's been happening at Journal Square, which is a stone's throw away.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to go back to how the HCIA has transformed over the years. You talked about it initially being there for solid waste and recycling.
Improvement authorities have a lot of power under the Improvement Authority law for financing. We're not funded by the county in any way. We generate our own revenues, whether it's from disposal fees, whether it's from project fees. We get a fee for construction management to manage these projects and develop them, and on the finance side also. So we generate our own revenue, and we have a great group of people working there, and it's exciting. It's exciting when you could build something and see it, just like the golf course, just like the high-tech high school in Secaucus. It's working really well.
You got great people like Amanda. And Amanda, you've been there for a little more than a year, I think, with HCIA.
Almost a year.
She's our new addition.
Yeah.
So your new addition, and you came right in the middle of COVID-19.
Yeah.
How's your entry into the HCIA been?
Well, everyone's been really welcoming and warm, and I'm really excited to basically sort of create sustainability goals for the HCIA, figure out ways that we can reduce our energy. We're actually looking now to introduce electric vehicles to our fleet and get the word out to municipalities on how we can assist them with their goals.
I mean, in normal times, I think part of your job remit would be out in classrooms and out with community groups. You're not able to do any of that now, obviously. Hopefully, we'll get back to it. How have you been reaching out to the community during these times?
Basically over Zoom, just letting them know that we would love to speak with them. So they invite us on Zoom to their organization meetings, sometimes at 7 o'clock at night. Several times a week I'm on meetings with organizations, and still reaching out to teachers. And there's a lot of people in the community that still want to be involved in environmental programs. So thankfully they do reach out to us, and we try to engage them as much as we can on social media.
In some ways, this remote work has probably been helpful because you've had more access to some of these groups than you would have. You don't have to get in the car and travel to North Bergen or to Secaucus or to Bayonne.
Right.
Amanda, before we wrap up this segment, we talk to a lot of people, and they think about the environment, they think about their household waste, and they say, I can't make a difference in my home. But they can make a difference, can't they? And that's what you're trying to preach to the residents of Hudson County.
Right. I don't think that there's any act that's too small. And whether it's you want to plant a garden in your backyard, or write a letter to the editor, or speak to your neighbor about how you feel about climate change, I think all of those things really add up. And it's just another piece to the puzzle that we really need to achieve to, get our goals achieved.
And Norman, transportation is also a big part of the HCIA,
Yes,
right?
we have the Hudson TMA that's promoting mass transit throughout Hudson County and also pushing the use of electric vehicles, pedestrian crossing, safety, bike safety with children. You know, every year, unfortunately, last year we didn't do it because of COVID. We conduct a bike rodeo where we teach kids the safety, bike safety, and that's worked out really well. And it's unfortunate where we didn't do it now. Usually it's in June, but we may do something in the fall. And getting back to Earth Day, you know, for years when Mary Ellen was here, you know, we had Earth Day, we always sponsored a 5K race. Well, this year, because we're doing these mini fairs, there's no 5K race. But we are considering some type of race, possibly in the fall, but possibly to do it at our golf course. I'm looking into that.
Great.
The golf course is pretty hilly, it's a little different trail, plus there's a public walkway around the perimeter of it, so that's something else we're going to look at as things open up.
Exactly, another way to get the public outside and
Yes.
enjoying some of the amenities that you've created. We're going to take a break for a minute again, and then we're going to come back, and I want to talk a little bit more about the environmental work that you're doing, especially as it relates to the households and local communities. Please stick around for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Regional Hospital, we promise to be prepared for your emergency.
We promise to provide world-class robotic surgical care.
We promise to treat you like family.
To provide accurate diagnostic care.
To provide the most innovative orthopedic care at your doorsteps.
We promise to treat your baby like our own.
To never stop investing in the best of spinal care.
To be with you every step of the way.
Here at Hudson Regional Hospital, we promise to take care of our community.
Pen & Pencil Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at penandpencilproperties.com. Pen & Pencil Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hi, and welcome back. We're going into our third segment now with Norman and Amanda from the Hudson County Improvement Authority. Norman, every single week we talk about the fact that we don't have enough time with our guests, and we're going to run into that again today. But what I want to talk to you about, I want you to answer for our viewers. You know, we talk about recycling and wrap your newspapers and your glass and your aluminum. Sometimes we just forget, don't we?
Well, not only do we forget, I think sometimes part of the problem is some people maybe are in a hurry to recycle. They're not separating the recyclables from the trash, or you'll get a pizza carton with the pizza in it and stuff is mixed. And the problem today is the markets, they're very stringent on how that material should look. And so I think it's time to start to re-educate the public, go back to the basics of 101 recycling on how to do it, how to separate it, get into the school systems, the educational program, which I know Amanda is working on, and she'll be doing a lot of that. That's important.
And is this all information that's available on the website? And I'm sure you're using Instagram and Facebook and everything else?
Yeah, we're trying to do the best that we could to get people to recycle better. And actually one way that we're getting the word out is through this new app that Hudson County has, but every municipality has in the state, called Recycle Coach, where you can type in any item that you're looking to dispose of, and it'll give you disposal instructions and let you know if it belongs in your recycling bin or if it doesn't.
Oh, that's great. What do we have in Hudson County? Is it single stream recycling, or do we keep everything separate?
We have dual stream recycling in Hudson County. Yeah.
Okay, so everything goes together.
Co-mingling of your bottle cans, plastics, and then your newspaper and cardboard is separate.
Yes.
Okay, and all this information is up on the website, of course.
Yes, and check your municipal website as well, because it's chock full of information too.
Okay, good. Amanda, we've written a few times over the past year or so about rain barrels and compost bins that I think you sell them at a very affordable level. Can you talk about them a little bit, why they make a difference in the household?
Yeah, sure. I mean, compost bins, about 30% of what Americans throw out is actually food waste, unfortunately. And so that's all stuff that can get trapped in a landfill and basically produce methane. What we want to do is put that back into the ground and hopefully use it for gardens and for farming and for lawns and stuff like that. So we encourage people to purchase compost bins, and we have some on our website. You can actually fill out an online form on our website to get one. They're subsidized. They're $40 for a compost bin or a rain barrel, if you'd like. And we actually not only give it to you and deliver it to you contactless, but we also can help you set it up and teach you how to use it.
What do they do with the compost once it's gone in the food is gone in the bin? It turns into whatever rich mineral material it turns into.
Yeah,
they use it in their own garden, or is it something you pick up?
I think you should attend the Earth Day event because we're going to have a compost workshop where we're going to show children how to do this. We did a video of that too to put into the school system. But it's interesting and it's really good. I mean, they do create after a process, after a certain period of time, you have to put in your food waste with the leaves, with the twigs, and give it some time, and it actually turns into like a fertilizer that can be used for plants. Very strong fertilizer if you put in the right stuff in and mixing it the right way.
You can use it however you'd like.
Do you do any pickup of this material?
No, we don't unfortunately, no.
There's probably places around town they can drop it off maybe? Is that something?
In Jersey City, they now have drop-off sites, but I'm not aware of any other program in Hudson County.
It's a little difficult in an urban area to create that. You know, you need room, you need space to do that volume of, Hudson County generates about 400,000 tons of what I refer to as municipal waste every year. So that's a big number, and if you take 30% of that as food waste, it's still a big number.
Yeah, I think that's the future, though. I think the future, a lot of towns are looking to go zero waste, and that's just one huge way that we're going to be able to do that is by recycling our food waste.
And it sounds like the HCIA has really transitioned a lot over the decades, so it seems like the next logical move.
Yes.
Amanda, before we wrap it up, shredding events are important too.
Yes.
We all have our bills at home and everything else. Tell us about those shredding events.
Yeah, most people don't feel comfortable throwing away their sensitive documents, and so we give them an opportunity to safely shred them and make sure that they're actually ending up in a recycling facility. And we also have hazardous waste collection events as well. So if you have oil-based paint or other kinds of items that are in your attic that you're not really sure how to get rid of, you can go on our website and look at the list of accepted materials for our HHW events. And if it's on our list, you can bring it and we can dispose of it properly.
I think the message really is that this stuff is easy to get rid of. Don't just dump it out on the street.
Yes.
Don't dump it in the woods.
That's just one small way we can get cleaner communities.
And there's a list on our website of the calendar of events, whether it's shredding, whether it's household hazardous waste collection, they're all listed on here.
Excellent. We'll make sure to post that on Tap into Bayonne and Hoboken and Jersey
Terrific.
City. Amanda, Norman, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show today. I wish we had more time to talk. I hope you'll come back again. Good luck with the Earth Day events over the next couple of weeks and the poetry contests. We look forward to promoting the winners and giving them some publicity.
Yes.
With that, we'll see you again, and we'll be back in the next segment with Al Sullivan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport. Live like you want.
Cutting edge surgical care is right here in Secaucus.
Robotic surgery is safer.
Shorter hospital stays.
Smaller abdominal incisions, the size of an M&M. Here at Hudson Regional, we provide world-class robotic surgical care.
Hi, and welcome back to Tapped into Hudson. For our final segment today, we have Al Sullivan joining us. Al, of course, is one of our reporters with Tap into Jersey City and Tap into Bayonne. Al, we've tried to cover this from a very sort of factual point of view, but there's some tension right now in Bayonne, isn't there? There's a little bit of political brouhaha. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, there's the mayor of this city decided he was not going to support the incumbent assemblyman. And he won't say why, but there's a lot of speculation and some knowledgeable speculation that Nick Chevroletti, who is a well-respected assembly person, was looking to perhaps change the leadership, okay? And there has been tension on the council anyway. The council president, Sharon, has had differences with the mayor. And now there's other issues, legal issues that have popped up. A lawsuit alleging all boys network in there. That's raising the political bar. Nick Chevalotti has to run in a primary off the line, and that is an almost impossible task. It's been done once before that I know of in my career, but it has some spillover effect to the mayoral election next year.
Right.
And so I'm coming out of that maybe a ticket that will oppose the mayor.
And Al, beyond the politics of it, 'cause I think what our readers are most interested in and what the residents are most interested in Bayonne is, does this political, the consternation that exists or the divide that exists, does this stop progress in Bayonne? I mean, so much has been happening in that city.
No, everybody seems to be on board for the kind of development they're doing, and it's massive. Bayonne is now the new Gold Coast, and it's not just on the base where they had planned it all along. Broadway is being transformed. There's 2 or 3 new projects on Broadway that will change the dynamic and set up the future for additional. There's a lot of vacancies and vacant lots that have been isolated, and they have not been producing for years. Now they look like they're going to come on board.
Chris Sellerin and I spoke about this last week in relation to Hoboken, how it's really in every corner. That's what you just said. It's not isolated to one part of town or the other.
Right.
I mean, this is happening all over Bayonne. Al, you wrote a really cool story, I guess it was earlier this week, about a former Christmas store.
Yes.
Tell our readers about that who haven't seen the article.
Ironically, back in the 40s, this guy came up with an idea for an artificial Christmas tree that was different than everybody else. And he brokered it into becoming world famous. The problem is things were changing, and he had this magical store in the middle of Bayonne that people always went to. You went through it, it was like a wonderland. Unfortunately, the way progress was going, he died, his son took over and decided to go online. And they went out of the site for 10 years, and finally people found to redevelop the site. But the nostalgia is really heavy. So they're looking to rescue the sign for the future because it's that important.
It's hard to let residents know sometimes that you have to make way for progress. They remember the Bayonne they grew up in, and this Bayonne looks very different. And these people that grew up in Bayonne, our Mayor Davis, our Assemblyman Chevalotti, our Council President Sharon Nash-Nadrowski. But you get the sense they really want the best for the city, and they are just trying to progress it and move it forward, right?
Well, Bayonne had not been updated in decades. The housing stock is all pre-World War II. And a lot of people had high hopes, especially the prominent realtors, for the base. But it's not enough. What they wanted to do is build housing in the base that people could move into, and they could restore what is called mainland Bayonne. What's happening is this administration particularly has been really ahead of everybody else and decided they're not going to wait for the base to be built out. They're going to redevelop the sites that they have. Previous administrations had identified it as scattered sites,
right.
But these guys are actually moving pretty fast on it.
And at the same time, they're focusing on paving streets. I mean, we just put that story out there today, and they're focusing on building new parks or improving the old ones. I mean, this has all been key to their success also over the past couple of years, hasn't it?
Well, I'm doing a story this week on a new nail salon. What drew them here is the development. There's going to be customers there to go to that. And the mayor was talking about how that's what brings it in. You build the housing, residents come, and they need the services, and that brings business.
If you build it, they will come.
Right.
Al, I think we could probably talk about Bayonne for days and days and days. We can talk about the machinations of Jersey City politics for days and days and days. But of course, we're out of time for this week. So we look forward to the future stories you're working on. We look forward to bringing the stories to all of you. Until we're back with you, please stay safe, stay apart, and stay healthy. Thank you so much.